going to go ahead and review some of the photos that have been turned in so far. I have a variety of some really good ones through some that just need a little bit more paying closer attention to some of the finer details. Here's a decent looking photo. You can see, let me zoom in a touch more. You can see it's a little bit out of focus. When I zoom in, it's a little bit out of focus. And other concerns are these brown spots. So you need to pick a flower that looks a little bit better. You don't want to have these imperfections in the flowers. You don't want to showcase imperfections in the flowers. And also, pick the flower up out of the plastic cup and place it somewhere else. It looks weird sitting in a cup. They did a great job with getting the background to turn it nice and black, and you can't tell that it's a fabricy paper thing, a fibrous paper thing, which some people had in there. So that one needs a little bit of work, but it's getting there. Here is another one that has some issues. I do like the angle. I do like seeing part of that leaf there. Focus is right in that area, which is great. And so some of my issues are this super overexposed, blown out area there because the light source. So consider, I like that you're playing around with where the light source is, but consider a different spot because you can see that rather than your eye going here, it keeps going over here. So that is taking away from the focus point of the image. And this little thing, just slide the paper a little bit differently and you would avoid that, or Photoshop it out. Maybe coming in tighter or something like that might work, but you need to do something different. Oh, here, that's that same flower, same spot, a little bit better because they came in tighter. This area should be the perfectly focused spot. Let's see how it is. It's a little bit out of focus, but it's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. I like seeing the water droplets here. So that one is an improvement. This one here, playing around with, looks like some different colored lights because we've got some yellowness over here. A little bit too bright on this side. This would be considered overblown because the eyes should go to the center here, the main part of the flower, and they're competing for attention here, this versus this. But have some decent things going on there, but still paying attention to some of the finer details. It's cool and fun to play around with those colored lights, but they don't always look great on the flowers. Background. You don't want to see this blah background. The background should just disappear. So you need to either do a shallow depth of field or play with the lighting so that the background is not lit so much. You don't want to see this fibrous paper in the background. We've also got some dead looking flowers here, and we have the edge of the paper over here. So those are all issues with that one. So we need to pay closer attention to some of the details in this. Oh, I like this nice tight crop. In post-production work, you might bump up the contrast a tiny bit and textures and things of that sort to get these cool water droplets to pop even more. Focus looks decent here. It could be a little bit sharper, but it's pretty good. So that one is looking good. You don't always have to show the whole flower. I like where this one's headed. This looks like it's blurry due to camera shake. When I zoom in, look at how blurry things are here. It looks like the camera moved a tiny bit. And playing around with the colored lights, again, is fun, but it looks a little bit odd on this one. So this needs some, I would reshoot this one. It is just blurry due to camera shake. Oh, we've got the cup again, guys. Got to take these out of the cup and photograph them in a different setting. So the side lighting, again, okay, you can play around with the side lighting. If the red cup weren't here, maybe that wouldn't be so strange looking. But I do like the shallow depth of field concept, but we have issues with the cup for the most part. Ooh, this is nice. Coming in nice and tight here. The center, the stamens look well focused. Look at that. That's pretty sharply focused. Water droplets look nice. This one is definitely going in the right direction. I like how the background is nice and dark, and it gets the flower itself to really pop and stand out. Same thing here. Looks good. Probably the same person there. Same style. So that is looking fantastic. Here we have the same issues of the cup and dead flowers. That is, bring out the imperfections in things. Avoid that, please. But they did a good job on that other one of the background, but this one, background is horrible. You don't want to see that it's a fibrous paper. So do something so that it is not standing out as just black paper. If it goes pitch black, like this area here, if you can get the whole background to get pitch black, that's perfect. Pull the flower away from the backdrop so that you can have the background black, like pitch black, and then the flower will stand out more. Other issues, the cup again, and dead flowers, and out of focus. So things we need to work on there for sure. Ooh, this is cool. I like this. Usually we think of trying to get the stamen area in focus the most, but it looks like they are trying to emphasize the water droplets. That's not a bad idea. That can totally work. So emphasize those even more. Bump up the contrast and the textures to get those to really, really pop. Have some interesting textures here with the concrete. So that's definitely going in the right direction. I like this as well. A nice tight crop. Things are well focused. Looking good. Ooh, interesting angle here. That is cool. This is nicely focused. That's great. Not the best angle, but I definitely like the playing around with angles. So that is definitely going in the right direction. Decent. Just wish the background was not so obvious. If you could get the background to darken up a little bit better, whether it's post-production work or different lighting, either way works. Dead flower action here, and this looks kind of weird being able to see that. Deadness here, and these lights are like exaggerating it, so that is a little bit odd. It doesn't make the flower look pretty, which generally when you're photographing flowers, that's the goal. Nice shallow depth of field. Detail here looks nice, and that's in focus. A very cool and interesting crop here, tightly cropped. You don't have to show the whole flower. I like where that's headed. I like where this one's headed, but the light is a little bit too harsh. So you can see right here, that's a little bit overexposed, but I do like how these water droplets are popping here. Nice little bouquet because they're not perfectly focused. So maybe make sure that this area or somewhere is sharply focused, and then that bouquet can work for you. You might even play around with just throwing it way out of whack on focus and seeing what it does. Don't know if that's good or not, but that's headed in the right direction. I like this one a lot. Really, really cool. Tight little flower here, well focused in there. Can see some water droplets. I think that's part of the branch. That's a tiny bit distracting, but the branch is natural, so I guess it's okay. But play around with removing that and just seeing what it looks like. Maybe it won't work that way. Maybe it will. Ooh, I like this. Tight crop. Excellent detail. Things are moving in the right direction there. Dead flowers. Why showcase dead flowers? Usually when you're photographing flowers, you're trying to showcase the prettiness of it. This one can work. I'd go with the shallower depth of field, but dead flower action and that leaf in front of the subject is distracting. But approaching the right concept here. Out of focus, dead flowers, and pay attention to the background. Cool concept. I like playing around with the backlighting, but what's happening here is we have areas here that are way brighter than the flower itself. The subject should stand out more, but because these areas are brighter, your eye is going there. So maybe a tighter crop in here or something. Something needs to be done with it, but I'm not sure. Ooh, I like the lighting. Tight crop would help with this one because this is distracting. So all of this stuff is distracting. But if you came in with a tight crop, then you have something. And there we go.